Inspector Carrigan's a former Marine as well.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. You're just a Marine. There's no such thing as a former Marine.
And you're not going to tell us
I mean, you're great and everything, but no.
You're not going to tell us the secret?
No secrets.
Suppose I don't want to talk to her.
Then I guess you won't.
You trying to tell me what to do?
No.
All right. We're going to have to get you back here. You got to get a little bit more vocal. You know, Inspector, what we're witnessing here is what we all know, the joys of motherhood.
We wear a lot of hats.
If Inspector Quinn wants to make a voluntary contribution for the time that you spent coming here, I don't hear anything. The silence is deafening.
A hardworking special needs teacher gets a well-deserved break from Judge Caprio. He's got one parking ticket on Wickington Street.
What do you want to tell me about this?
I'm a school teacher during the day, and I bartend on Wickenden Street at night, and I'm not sure where on Wickenden Street I could possibly be parked illegally. And even so, when I came out that night at 1:45 in the morning, there was no ticket on my car.
He wasn't sure where he parked, so it would be quite hard for him to fight it. There was a patch on his jacket. Judge Frank asked him what the patch said. He replied saying it stated United States Marine Corps. He appears to be a veteran, and he was also in the Marines. He was, in fact, the infantry squad leader, Desert Storm.
How long were you in for?
6 years active duty and then 3.5 more in the reserves.
Really? Yeah. Where did you serve?
All over the world. I spent 2 years aboard a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, and most of my time in the infantry in Iraq and Kuwait.
He's a school teacher, a Marine, and a bartender. That's pretty impressive. The judge asked which job was the most challenging for him. He stated that the special needs job kids that he's teaching are the most challenging. Judge Frank thanked him for his service to the country, and he dismissed the case. Judge Frank is puzzled by a woman who seems to have figured out a secret way of getting out of parking tickets. I'm curious to know how exactly that's possible.
How'd you do it, Nitsa? Tell me how you did it. How'd you do it?
I don't even know what I did. I came in for one ticket, found out that there was three
I really
other
want to
ones.
know how you did it.
I mean, I was speeding.
Inspector Quinn, she is such an expert driver.
She apparently has 3 speeding violations in a school zone, and if you're 1 mile over the permissible limit, the ticket would be dismissed. Fortunately for her, she was able to gauge her speed such that all 3 of the speeding violations were 1 mile over the limit. I'm as curious as Judge Frank to know how exactly that happened.
How did you figure that out?
I have no idea.
No?
None.
Come on.
Zero.
Come on, the country's waiting. They want to hear. How did you do it?
No.
You won't give your
It
secret
goes with
away.
me. Absolutely.
All right. However,
The company on the other side saying, please don't reveal it. Please.
That was apparently on 3 of them, because there was a 4th one where she was 2 miles over. According to Judge Frank, she's got 2 choices. She either pays $50 or she comes back to have a trial. Without hesitation, she stated that she was going to pay the $50. Tom DeRazio claims that he used to live with the judge. He drives a Chevrolet and he's got a speeding violation in a school zone on Blackstone Boulevard. It appears that the school was closed when the ticket was issued, so the judge dismissed the matter. Just before Tom left, he asked the judge if he recognized him.
Actually, in 2013, I saw an ad for a carriage house in Narragansett, and so I responded to the ad and I was going to rent it. So I talked to the realtor and then I met your wife.
After he and the judge's wife spoke, he ended up renting the location and he actually lived with them for about 7 months in the carriage house. Judge Frank asked who he paid the rent to because he doesn't remember him or the rent. Well, Tom was paying the rent to Judge Frank's wife.
when I get home today, I'm going to address this issue.
If you ask her, she'll remember my name, because the reason I knew her, I was working at a Bernie's store in Warwick at the time, and she used to come in and buy TVs from me.
Oh, a lot of them.
And so
right?
He revealed that he was going to use that as a shield because he used to give her discounts, but since he doesn't need it, he's good. And the case was dismissed. Was a rough night in jail punishment enough for this college student's behavior? Miss Riley is in court with counsel, and Judge Frank asked if she wanted to be heard on the case, and she stated that she did.
Yes, I would, Your Honor. Your Honor, the offer I know from the inspector is for 5 hours of community service, but The circumstances of the case are such that I think that you could dismiss this straight out. She wasn't outside. She wasn't. I know that the police have been cracking down on the parties that have been going on in the area.
She explained that her client was drinking inside and she got a call from a friend to go out and help a friend, but she wasn't thinking about the fact that she had a beer in hand. She came outside and the cops were in the area and they grabbed her. She was taken to the police station and she spent a couple of hours there. The council believes the case could be dismissed and it doesn't need to be taken to trial, and she also doesn't really need 5 hours community service. Well, what do you think?
Inspector Quinn?
Your Honor, that's the city's offer, 5 hours community service or trial. Clearly, she was outside. Clearly, she had an alcoholic beverage. I mean, they could question the veracity of the alcohol, but I'm sure that there's samples there sent to the tox lab.
The council chirped in that Miss Riley doesn't deny any of that, but believes that in this situation, her client has a good defense and suggested they talk to her for better understanding. Judge Frank stated that Miss Riley's got a very vigorous defense from her attorney. He further asked if she was a student, and she said she was. Turns out she's from Sandwich in Cape Cod.
All right, here's what the report says. On Sunday, September 2nd, at 44 hours, which is 12:44 in the morning, police were on patrol on Oakland Avenue when they saw a subject identified as Madison Riley holding a can of suspected alcohol beverage.
The police exited their vehicle and upon further investigation observed Riley to be in possession of a 12-ounce suspected natural white beer. She was taken into custody and transported to the central station without incident. She was then given a court release to appear with a date of 10/4 at 0800 hours. There's basically nothing in the report that indicated that there was a loud party or the neighbors complaining.
We left that part out, Judge. We didn't want her to feel offended.
My inclination is that I'll continue the case for a month. And if she has no further issues, it'll be dismissed automatically.
Okay.
He added that that would be done on a not guilty plea, so if she ever had to fill out any job application or any form indicating whether or not she had ever pleaded guilty to a minor misdemeanor, she could truthfully say no because she's pleading not guilty.
Okay, so for all practical purposes, this never happened.
All right, thank you.
For the next 30 days, don't be walking around with an alcoholic beverage
You got it.
unless you're home.
You got it.
And if a friend calls, please put it down, right?
Don't answer the phone.
Well, thanks to her great lawyer and the judge, she wouldn't be having her record tainted. On to our next case. Will an 8th grader win her first case in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom? Kiara's in court with her aunt, and she's going to be interpreting for her as she doesn't speak English. She was charged with speeding on Huntington Avenue.
Que yo iba a 34 y ella era 25, pero el policía estaba parando todos los carros que iban por esa área.
She said she was going 34 while she was supposed to go 25, but she said that the police officer was stopping everybody that was there.
Kiara stated that she goes to school in Gilbert Stewart and she's in 8th grade. The judge asked what high school she was going to go to the year after. She stated that she was going to be going to Central because she filled out an application and she would also be studying law and public safety. She believes that would prepare her to be a lawyer or maybe even a judge.
Actually, I went to Central High School and graduated 100 years ago. But anyway, a long time ago. And I shouldn't say this, Inspector Quinn, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you go to Central High School, right, there's a big showcase there, and it shows all the championships that they won in sports. And if you look there, you may see a picture of a young guy that looks just like me.
Did you spot Judge Frank? Yep, there he is right there. The judge asked Kiara what she thought he could do for her aunt, considering that she was going to be a lawyer and assuming this was her first case. He asked her to come up to the bench and give her her aunt's record. Fortunately, she didn't have any record history, but looks like that's about to change.
But now she got caught for speeding, and the speed limit was 25, right?
Yes,
She was doing 34 miles an hour.
yes.
So what do you think? What does justice demand in this case? This is your first case.
Do you think she'll be a good lawyer and be fair? She explained that since it was her first time getting a ticket and due to the fact that she's also got a clean history, she believes the court could let it slide. There's also a $60 court cost and Judge Frank asked if she thought her aunt could afford it. After a while of thinking about it, she stated that she wouldn't be able to afford it.
That would be a financial hardship on her, you think? Well, you got to tell me.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I think it would be hard on her.
It would be hard on her. Okay, well, I think you're going to win your first case.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
good. Okay.
He asked her to tell her aunt that she made a great presentation on her behalf and that she owes her for the rest of her life for helping her out. Although she wasn't prepared, we'll still have to admit she did a pretty good job.
Because I think if you did, you would have been a lot more prepared, right? You have to, like, have a story. You know, my aunt's a hardworking woman, she has children, something, she has children, she has financial hardship, she wasn't really going that fast, they didn't reduce the speed at all for her. You know, you wouldn't know that, but you have to have, like, some kind of something like that now.
And looks like the matter was dismissed. Judge Caprio calls upon the spirit of his mother to help a disabled single mom who desperately needs a break. Miss Crespo has 4 red light violations.
I live in Cranston. My daughter attends a school in Providence, and the bus, there was some problem that they were having with the transportation. So I've been having to take her.
She explained that her daughter has some medical issues, so she's not the easiest to get up. She's got 2 kids. Her youngest daughter just turned 9 and her oldest is 24, and she lives on her own. Judge Frank asked if she was the sole supporter of her family. She stated that she was actually on disability.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, she was smart enough, Judge, based on my math. She took a couple years for herself.
you know, I talk all the time, people, I think maybe some people get sick of hearing it, but I talk all the time about the family unit, the basic unit of society. You know, because I was raised from a very close-knit family.
She clearly wears a lot of hats. We've got to give her that. And because of this, the judge stated that he was going to give her a break. Her tickets cost $305, but he stated that she was going to be charged $275, and that's going to be paid by the Philomena Fund, which was named after his mom. He explained that if his mother were here, she'd say the case should be dismissed.
Thank you.
You're getting emotional. I find an awful lot of people don't get a break, and when they get a break, they get emotional.
God is good to me.
I'm happy to hear that. That means you're a good person.
I try every day. Thank you.
Good luck.
We don't always look like what we go through, and we've got to give our mothers their fair credit. She's clearly an amazing mom, and that break was well deserved. On to our next case. Inspector Quinn gives a get out of traffic court free card to a wrongly accused motorist. It's Alex's first violation, and she was charged with going through the red light on North Main and Branch.
Okay, we're going to take a look at it, okay?
Oh, boy. Based on that video, I don't know what else she needs to do.
According to the video and the judge, there's really no reason why she should be in court. The sign clearly says right on red after stop, and she came to a complete stop for at least 1 second, which is a long time for a stop, and then she made a right-hand turn. They sure do owe her one. The case was dismissed.